Hamidakyapi, Chantewashtenape, Chiuzapi, Tokata Iron Eyes, Emachiapi. Hello everyone, friends and relatives. My name is Tokata Iron Eyes. I'm a spokesperson and organizer with Lakota People's Law Project. Happy Earth Day, everyone. Earth Day is every day, but especially now we want to say to all Indigenous peoples around the globe that we stand in solidarity with one another in the face of this ongoing climate crisis, and we condemn all governments, nations around the world who turn a blind eye and who sit complicit. When we talk about the climate crisis, we are talking about all of the gifts that Unci Maka gives to us that we take for granted every day. I wanted to share with you this story from when I was a child, and this is one of the very, very oldest stories. This is called Otokahekagapi, and this is the actual book, the actual creation story that my father would read me as a child, and I would like to share it with you all today. Otokahekagapi. Before any other thing, Ia was, and his spirit was Wakantanka. Before the 4 times, Ia was. Ha was then, but she was not a thing. She was only the black of darkness. Ia possessed all powers then, and the powers were in his blood, and his blood was blue. But Ia grew lonely and longed for another. Ia knew that there could be none other unless he took from himself. To take from himself, he would have to let his blood flow from him, and he knew that as his blood would leave him, so would his powers. So Ia said, "Nuwe, so be it," and this was the first sound. Then Ia took from himself and let himself flow outward around himself in the form of a great sphere. And Ia named this sphere Maka, the earth. Ia opened all of his veins and his blood left him. And Ia saw that his powers went from him in the blood and formed the edge of Maka. And where the edge of Maka was, there was no beyond. There was only the darkness of Ha. Ia shrank and grew hard, but he still sought to control his powers. His blood became the waters, but the powers flowed outward from the waters and formed around Maka as the spirit. And the powers became the sky, and the sky is Shkan, mover. Shkan is the powers around Maka, and Shkan is Nahi Tanka, the great spirit. Maka, the earth, pouted because she had not been made a separate thing, and because the powers had left her and were with Shkan. Maka was conscious and saw herself, and she was naked and cold. All around her was the cold darkness of Ha. Maka nagged Ia to banish Ha. She demanded to be made separate, but Ia said that he was helpless to placate her, for his powers had left him and had become Shkan. At last, Ia and Maka agreed to petition Shkan to solve their desires. So Shkan heard the complaint of Maka and the plea of Ia, and he decreed that he would be the judge of their dispute. He would be the great judge. Shkan commanded that Maka must remain united with Ia as she was made. But to please her, he would banish Ha. So Shkan banished Ha to the outer regions, and he made Amp, light. But Amp was not a thing. He was only the red of light, and this was the first light, but there was no heat nor shadow. Maka saw herself in the light of dawn, and she pouted because there was no heat, and again she complained to Shkan. So Shkan again agreed to placate Maka. He took from himself a portion, from Ia a portion, and a portion from Maka, and a portion of the waters. And Shkan made manifest a great shining thing, round like Maka, the world, and he named this We, the sun. Shkan commanded we to shine and to give heat, and to make a shadow for all that was. And we did as he was commanded. And all the world was hot except where there was shadow. Then Maka had no relief from the heat of we, and she pouted. She begged Shkan to return Ha to her, and Shkan heard the complaint of Maka. So Shkan commanded Ha to return, but he decreed that Ha should be with Maka for a space, and then Amp would be for a space, and thus each would follow after the other, that Maka would have relief from the heat of we. Then Shkan commanded that we should go before Amp to the regions of Ha beyond the world, but that Amp would be the forerunner of we when he returned to the world. And they did as commanded, so there was light and heat upon the world. And then there was dark for the space that followed, and these were the first 2 times. The light time Shkan named Ampetu, and the dark time he named Hanyetu, and they followed after one another. Maka was pleased. Thus came into being the 4 superior mysteries that are the world and are of the world, and they are named Wakaki, the mysteries, and they are named Waka Akantu, the superior mystery, and they are sacred and immortal. We, Shkan, Makan, Iya. We, Kan, is the sun immortal. Dokan is the sky blue immortal, who is Shkan. Makan Kan is earth immortal. Iya Kan, rock immortal. And they counseled together with Shkan as the judge. And Shkan decreed that they would be recognized and would rank in order of their importance. We would rank first, and his color is red. Shkan himself would rank second, and his color is blue. Maka is third, and her color is green. And Iya is fourth, his color is yellow. United, they would be all the colors as like a rainbow, and they would be one thing, the superior mystery, the Great Spirit. But the spirit of all is Wakantanka, the great mystery, that not even they can understand.